Alright guys, so last video I left you with a little homework, right, to make sure that you add this stuff right here into its own component, so that way we keep this nav bar as clean as possible and continue to use it, you know, for other things, not continues for other things, but continue to debug it a lot better than having to deal with all of this in the middle of the way, and it's just crazy. Okay, so let's see how you did, if you did that right. Now, before I go any further, actually I want to fix that problem that I messed up on the last video, where I kind of deleted the inside this closure here. I deleted the open thing and all that. So I went back to the Tailwind template that we used for the nav bar, and I'll just be able to pick it up from over there because it's that simple. Okay, so I just basically copied this right here, these two tags right here, and I'll just put those on there here, and to the closing is these two right here as well, and that goes inside the transition and the closing, and there it is. That simple. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but still it was my fault. I don't know why I didn't check first, but now we should see this stuff right here, that it will go away. Well, we'll have to clear it first, but if we come over here and then we do a refresh, then we have no issues anymore. Now we still have this that opens up automatically. Okay, it's because we have it set up as true on the dialog open right here, and we don't want that, so we want to go ahead and put that now into false, so that it doesn't load it doesn't load on refresh, but it does load if I wanted to open, right? And then it closes. So last thing I want to do now is, not the last thing. Now I want to go ahead and put this transition stuff into its own folder. And so in the global component, we're gonna make a new file, and we're gonna call it custom dialog JSX and RAF blah blah blah. You know the deal. Close this. Prop types. You know what? Hold on a second. RAFCEP. What prop types? I should just probably start doing that from now on, right? I knew there was something else in there. Anyway, so there you go. You can do that one. Alright, but now you got to do a little bit of cleaning anyway. So just click that and put that there. Alright, now we're gonna come over here, so click this logo. Where is it? We don't need this right side. I'm gonna come here, and then we're gonna grab this bad boy right here, and we're gonna bring it in here and bring all this stuff over to the air to clean it up. Alright, so we want to keep all of that in there. So the only thing that we don't want to put in here is going to be everything inside the dialog panel, right? So all of this right here, basically. So this form group, this right here. So the reason why we want to keep this outside of the component is we want to make sure that whenever we call a dialog, that we don't bring in this stuff in there, because we may not always want to use the dialog for the same thing. So we don't need to bring in this login form with the dialog every time we call it. So so I'm gonna make sure that I clear that out, but instead I'm gonna use a prop called children. Now the children prop allows me to put in this spot where the children is, allow me to put any content at all, while keeping the case, the shell of the component, which is in this case all of the dialog stuff. Okay. Now there are some stuff here that needs to be components that I need to pass so they can be reusable, right? So like for example, this needs to be manageable by the call of the component for whatever, you know, it may not always be dialog open, it may just be called something else. But for the sake of keeping things copacetic, we're gonna call it show, so that we can keep the same format of using show. So we're gonna bring it up there. And for the onClose, we're gonna keep the onClose so that it is also up there. OnClose. Obviously children. Alright, is there anything here? Nope, this is all styles. There's nothing else in here, nothing else in here, that's it, nothing else. And then now all I gotta do is just this right here. Alright, now notice that the new prop type that we probably haven't seen before, which is a node, because everything inside here is gonna be of a node. Kid. Alright, now all these things have to be available, right? So I go to the navbar, I make sure I bring it up from here. Let's cut that out and come over here and put it there. I don't need the dialog title here, but I do need it on the other one, so that's still gonna be part of the here on the React, actually the headless React, so I'll just keep it here. So the reason why the dialog title is not is being carried over is big again because the title could change. However, could I have just basically put this over there as a prop? Yeah, I could have, but if I did that, then I would have to bring, oh, you know what, yes, I'll do that, I will do that. I'm gonna do this instead. I'm gonna keep this in here and then keep the dialog title. Copy, paste, okay. Keep the dialog title in there. Yeah, I didn't think about that. But now the children will be added here because the dialog title will always be there. But then the dialog title will be called title. That way now this is also proppable. Proppable, that's a new verb, proppable. It is proppable. And I'm gonna put it in there. It's gonna be a string, so that's fine. Great, I like this. Alright, so now I can go to the navbar and now I'm gonna start with a new tag up here instead. And I'm gonna make sure that I bring in that bad boy in here. There you go. Ooh, dialog, huh? Let me see, what did I use to expand this? No, I used custom dialog. Yeah. Alright, that was crazy. So it is custom dialog. I'm importing the custom dialog from here. And then now here I am going to custom dialog. And then first thing I'm gonna do is call the show. Let me see. For the dialog open, just bring it to the custom dialog right there. Yep. The title, which it was here, sign into your account. I'm gonna bring it in as title because that's the prop. I'm gonna have the onClose, which was this one, to set dialog open. OnClose, and that's it. Now, in here, in this here is where the children would go. So children in here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab everything that was part of the children, which is basically this two things, the dialog body, basically, right? And I'm going to X that out, and I'm going to bring them in here where the children are. Bam, bam, bam. And then now all of this can basically go away. So now if I did this right, I have access to my dialog body inside my dialog, and I even have this button right here, which I could have, and I will. I'm gonna grab this right here. I'm gonna X that out. Yes, I'm gonna X that out, right? Yeah, I'm gonna X that out, and I'm gonna come to my custom dialog here again. And then under the children here where they would normally go, I'm gonna make a custom area for props, for buttons, sorry, for action buttons. So I'm gonna have 2 buttons in there instead, actually. But this one is not gonna be a primary, and it's gonna be called cancel. None of them are going to be full width now because I'm going to be using them across, one on the left, one on the right. Okay. And then for the unclick, they're going to be secondary click for this one, secondary click. And for this one, it's going to be primary click. Secondary click, primary click. Okay, now obviously that's not going to work unless I bring the custom button in there, which is, there you go. And then I'm going to pass the secondary click and primary click props so that I can use them. And I'm going to add them in there. Excuse me, and I'm add them in there. So everything should be working now. If I open it up, I still have the same stuff there, right? Because I have to save it. So if I open it up and I save it, I have the buttons in there. So now this will eventually sign me in, and then this will eventually just cancel out. But I still have to bring. See, it's not doing anything. They're not doing anything because I haven't brought to my custom dialog those primary click and secondary click event props with their respective actions. So I'm gonna call the secondary click and primary click. Now for the time being, I'm gonna have the primary click. What am I doing? The primary click is just going to be console log primary clicked. Get that out of there. And for the secondary click, instead of doing that, I'm just gonna call the dialog to close. So it's gonna be the set dialog open, this one right here. It's gonna be set dialog open to false. So now my secondary click, which is going to be this button, is going to close the dialog, but this primary click is not going to close the dialog. It's going to basically actually sign me in, which I don't have that yet. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to see if it works. If I cancel, closes. Open it again, and if I do sign in, primary has been clicked, which is where the login thing will be. So last thing I have to do now is on this is to spread these things. So I think if I do justify between, it will just work. Not quite. So let's see what I gotta do. Inspect, justify between. Why are you not working? One is here, one is here, justify between. I try to flex. Yeah, I try to flex. All right, so flex, define my flex box, and there's cancel and there's sign in. So now this is just as simple, but it works. Okay, so all right, now that everything is working as expected, now we can finally move on into making the authorization. One last thing before I go, so I don't take any more time from the actual authorization video. I'm gonna do a slightly more prep, another one prep that I have to do here. So let's create a page. Let's create in the routes here, and let's create a new folder, and then we're gonna call this one private. And then inside private, we're gonna create a new file, and we're gonna call it private, just private, JSX. All right, so that's gonna be a RAFCE. That's not gonna be a component, so there's any props. It's just gonna be a page, and this one is gonna be private page. All right, so the private page exists. Let's close all this, and let's go to the app and make sure that we add it. Import private from private. Yep. And then we're gonna add the route called private. Okay. Why did I do that? I did that so that we can test the authorization way to get in. So if I put here in the nav bar, let's get rid of this, just clean up a little bit. Now if I put over here, there you go, just like that, private. I have this private page here. Right now, this shouldn't be seen, okay? This private right here, this private page should be not, there. So we have to make sure that this private menu item is not available to people who haven't signed in yet, but only available when you sign in. That's the whole idea. And this is how we're gonna make sure that this works by doing that. And then when we sign in, then we should be able to see this, and then this will say sign out. Okay? That's simple as that. All right, we'll do that on the next one, not here. All right, see you later.